If you've been following the channel for a while, then you know that I am not a fan of Kyrie Irving. For a multitude of reasons. I mean, there are so many reasons to not like Kyrie Irving. You can't deny his talent. When he's focused, committed to basketball, Kyrie Irving, one of the best players in the NBA. Now, the key to that whole statement is the when he is focused and committed part. One of the problems with Kyrie Irving, he has become less and less focused on basketball. I don't care if he wants to be a political activist. Lately, it seems Kyrie Irving is on a mission to save the world. Or depending on how you look at it, he's on a mission to make the world woke. Now, not everything that he is involved with is bad. He does have some good causes. Kyrie Irving does do a lot of good. But the bulk of his agenda is woke politics, which, as you know, I am no fan of woke politics. Now, even if Kyrie Irving wants to focus his attention on his political agenda, that's fine. That's fine. My main problem with it is that he continues to cash multi-million-dollar checks in the NBA, and he's not 100% committed to basketball. That is a real problem. Even if Kyrie wasn't woke, I still wouldn't want him on my team. I don't want him playing in New Orleans. He has been a nuisance at every stop in the NBA. He was a problem in Cleveland. He had an issue with LeBron James. Now, say what you want about LeBron. You can trash him for his wokeness. You can not like him for his political views. But what you can't take away from LeBron James is the fact that he has been a great teammate everywhere that he's played. LeBron James, he gives 100%. Doesn't matter if it's a regular season game in the middle of January or Game 7 of the NBA Finals. You are getting the same level of effort from LeBron James every night. You can't say the same about Kyrie Irving. LeBron James is a team-first player. Kyrie Irving is a me-first player. So he had his problems, he had his issues in Cleveland with LeBron. Kyrie wanted to be the man, the leader of the franchise. Couldn't do that playing alongside LeBron James, so he forces his way to Boston, where he can be that guy. When he gets to Boston, the Celtics were a young team. He was the veteran. The Celtics brought him in to be the leader in that locker room. He had won a championship in Cleveland, so the hope was he could teach guys like Jason Tatum how to win in the playoffs, kind of like LeBron James taught him. There was a major flaw in that plan, though. The Celtics figured out real quick, Kyrie Irving is not a leader, at least not a guy you want leading a young team. Not only that, he's an all-around weird dude. He's hard to get along with. I mean, seriously. The Celtics, they should have known this before trading for him. Anyone who believes the earth is flat, you got to assume that there's something wrong with them. It's not like we're living in the 1800s. There are plenty of satellite images out there proving that the earth is round, not flat. Kyrie Irving, though, he's never worried about facts. He lives in his own little world, a world that is flat. So things don't work out for him in Boston. He ends up in Brooklyn. And now, for the third time in 5 years, 6 years, however long it's been, it seems yet another team is getting tired of Kyrie Irving. Over the last week or so, reports have begun to surface that the Brooklyn Nets are open to trading Kyrie Irving this offseason. General Manager Sean Marks said that he's going to evaluate every position this summer, which is normal in the NBA. That's what GMs do. But what is interesting is a report from Matt Sullivan. He's the author of the book Can't Knock the Hustle, which covers the Nets' 2020-2021 season. According to Matt Sullivan, management in Brooklyn are getting tired of Kyrie Irving and his antics. What a shocker. What a shocker. I mean, there are so many antics to choose from. Why don't we start with the 2-week sabbatical he took in January? This ended up being COVID related because Kyrie was pictured not wearing a mask at a party. Now, what's funny about that, a month later, after an embarrassing loss to the Detroit Pistons that dropped the Nets to 14-12, Kyrie Irving had the audacity to blame the NBA for the Nets playing so poorly. You know what he blamed? The COVID protocols. At the time, Kevin Durant was out due to the COVID protocols. The same protocols that Kyrie Irving purposefully broke or violated just a month earlier. Now, prior to his January sabbatical, one of his former coaches said that he believed Kyrie wasn't focused on basketball because he was genuinely upset about the Capitol riots on January 6th and the decision to not charge the police officer in the Jacob Blake shooting. It just had Kyrie so unfocused. During his January vacation, he was participating in a Zoom call with other political activists and politicians in New York, while the Nets were in the middle of a game. Back in December, he refused to speak to the media because they were pawns. Kyrie is above talking to pawns. Right before the playoffs, he refused to speak to the media again, which caused Adam Silver to issue a fine to both him and the Nets. You have the history with injuries. I mean, it's always something with Kyrie Irving. You can't get this guy on the court because there's always something going on. This dude is a magnet for problems and drama. Never mind the woke politics, which are bad enough. Just the behavior of Kyrie Irving is enough of a distraction. I don't care how talented you are. There comes a point where your behavior, your antics outweigh your talent, and you become expendable. You're just not worth dealing with anymore. Years ago, when I was in management, I had a salesman that was one of the best in the company. He was on the road every morning, 5 a.m. He built his territory literally from the ground up. Started with $0, grew it into a $1 million a year territory within 2 years. I mean, he was really that good. The problem was he couldn't get along with anyone. He couldn't get along with inside sales within the company, couldn't get along with vendors. And over time, his behavior and his antics got worse and worse, to the point where he just wasn't worth the trouble anymore. So the company had to make the decision to just lay him off, eliminate his position altogether. It's the same situation with Kyrie Irving. Like I said, on the court, one of the best guards in the NBA. And as much as I don't like Kyrie Irving, I do like to watch him play. He is an entertaining basketball player. Even though he's great on the court, the problem with him is getting him on the court. Dealing with all the crap he's going to put you through off the court. The constant questions from the media. Where is Kyrie? Why is he not playing? Why has he been missing for 2 weeks? That gets old quick. Now, I usually don't put too much stock in rumors like this, especially unconfirmed rumors like this one, where it's coming, only from one source. It's not being widely reported. But I tend to believe this one. Look, the Nets only have one more season. Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie, they're on the final year of their contracts. They have a player option for 2022-23. There is no guarantee that all three of them will be in Brooklyn beyond this season. Sean Marks essentially has one summer to improve this team. They need size. They need help down low. Giannis killed them in the paint during that second round series. If Sean Marks can improve the Nets by moving Kyrie and get rid of a headache at the same time, it's a win-win. The issue is going to be moving Kyrie. One, finding a team that's interested and willing to deal with all of his stuff. Kyrie Irving's only 28 years old, so there will be a team out there desperate enough to put up with him. The biggest problem is going to be getting Kyrie Irving to not sabotage any potential deal. If you're the Nets, you cannot have leaks if you're thinking about trading Kyrie Irving. You can't have information leak about it to the media, because if he is not willing to go wherever Sean Marks finds the best deal, you know what he's going to do. He's going to pull a public stunt and get the entire deal nixed. All Kyrie would have to do is go public and say, I refuse to play there. I refuse to play in Cleveland or Charlotte or Miami or wherever it is. And the deal, the potential trade, immediately over with. The Nets could find themselves in a mess here, but I don't feel bad for them. They did this to themselves. You knew when you brought in Kyrie Irving that he was a problem, and you acquired him anyway. If I'm Sean Marks, I'm doing everything I can as quickly and as quietly as possible to move Kyrie Irving this offseason. You have enough with Kevin Durant and James Harden to compete for a championship. Both of those guys, basketball is their main focus. So get as much as you can for Kyrie Irving and get rid of his problems at the same time. All right, what do you guys think? Should Sean Marks and the Nets trade Kyrie Irving this offseason? Now, because of his talent, do you think he is worth the trouble? Is it worth it to deal with him and all of his distractions? Sound off in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.